So Zohran Mamdani just became the first Muslim mayor of New York City. And 50 Cent, who is a New York native, is not too happy about that. In fact, he just posted this on his Instagram, saying, "Rest in peace to New York City."
And my job as someone who believes deeply in the public sector is to ensure that we're delivering public excellence. And that means every dollar that we raise, I want to be able to prove to you that it's every dollar that's being well spent. That's the relationship there. And I do have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to many.
Republicans actively protect pedophiles.
DL Hughley just snapped on 50 Cent, and the wild part is he didn't tell a single lie. This man came with straight-up truth bombs. DL said he's sick of watching rich celebrities act like they're for the people. But the second someone steps up with real policies to help regular folks, they start panicking like their wallets are under attack.
The working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands.
Now, if you've been keeping up, Zohran Mamdani just got elected as the new mayor of New York City, the city's first ever Muslim mayor and one of the boldest progressives the city's ever seen. But get this, the man hasn't even unpacked his boxes at City Hall yet, and 50 Cent's already out here acting like New York's about to crumble. It's wild. DL didn't hold back either. He called 50 out publicly, accusing him of being fake, out of touch, and scared of change. And the internet went crazy over it. People started saying DL was just saying what everyone else was thinking. The backlash got so bad that even Mamdani himself had to step in and respond to all the noise.
Here's what's interesting to me. So Mamdani is going to be the new mayor of New York, 34-year-old kid. Like I said, I live in New York. I couldn't vote in that election, but if I could, it would have been an easy choice. But here's what I really don't understand. The man who is actively trying to use hunger to get his political way, saying that people won't have food unless they do his political bidding, is saying that the man who wants to make rent cheaper, public transportation cheaper, and food cheaper is the one who is ruining in America. So the man who wants to starve you to get what he wants thinks that the dude who wants to feed you, house you, and get you, make you able to get around cheaper is the horrible one. That tells you everything you need to know about where we are.
And here's where it gets interesting. Mamdani's win wasn't just symbolic, it was historic. His campaign was built around helping everyday people. Rent freezes, affordable housing, and free public transit. Basically, real-life solutions for real people, not billionaire-friendly nonsense.
What I would say to you, 50, if you are indeed watching, or anyone else who's watching this show, is I continue to think that having the top 1% of New York City, who are making more than $1 million a year, having them pay 2% more for an economic agenda that would transform every New Yorker's life, including their own, is something that is worthwhile. I have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to many men.
It's true. Well, you take many men for motivation. I was going to say your answer sounds a little bit like clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
Wow.
And if we had more time, we'd do more 50.
And that's exactly why 50 Cent is throwing a full-on tantrum right now. The moment Mamdani's win hit the news, 50 couldn't hold it in. He ran straight to Instagram talking about how New York is finished. Then he dropped a dramatic image of a tombstone that said RIP NYC with 2025 written as the city's year of death. Like seriously, 50 already burying the city before the man even starts his job, but he didn't stop there. He followed it up with a slick photo of himself at dinner surrounded by his homies, captioned, "Escape from New York. Hit the road. All roads lead to Shreveport." The message was loud and clear. He's done with NYC and moving his whole empire down south. For those who don't know, Shreveport is in northwestern Louisiana, and that's where 50's been pouring major money lately. He's leasing massive studio spaces, launching a $50 million entertainment district, and turning Shreveport into the new home base for G-Unit Film and Television. Basically, he's building his own Hollywood down there, and using it to send a message that his business future no longer includes New York. But the real reason behind his meltdown? Mamdani's plan to raise taxes on millionaires. He's pushing for a 2% income tax increase on anyone making over $1 million a year, boosting corporate taxes to around 11.5%, and fixing the broken property tax setup that lets billionaire penthouses get cheaper rates than family homes in the Bronx. Mamdani didn't just talk about raising taxes. He came with a full plan to flip the whole system. He said it's time to shift the tax burden off the working-class neighborhoods and start charging the real money zones, like Central Park South, where million-dollar condos get special treatment while people in the Bronx and Queens are getting squeezed dry. That's what really sent 50 over the edge, acting like New York just got wiped off the map. But here's where it got messy. The internet dragged 50 like never before. The comments under his post turned into a war zone. People calling him out for being a sellout and forgetting his roots. One user wrote, "Guy who sold crack to his own community suddenly cares about their well-being?" Another fan clapped back saying, "Didn't taxpayers cover your hospital bills when you got hit 9 times? Someone else even dropped, "Your grandma was on food stamps, bro. How you mad at programs meant to help the same people who helped you survive?" The comment section was pure chaos. Then one follower hit him with a wild joke. "Won't be long before he's in Tel Aviv kissing the wall, LOL." That's when DL Hughley stepped in with a message that hit like a bullet. He said it's crazy to see people like 50, who came straight out the struggle, now whining about policies meant to lift up the same folks they used to stand with. DL Hughley didn't stop at calling 50 out. He went straight for the jugular. He reminded everyone that all these rich celebs stayed dead silent when Trump was slashing food stamps and turning hunger into a political weapon. But the moment someone like Mamdani steps in trying to help regular people, suddenly they're screaming that he's the real danger. The double standard is insane. Then things took a spicy turn. Mamdani himself clapped back at 50 Cent to set the record straight. After 50 posted saying he'd pay $285,750 just to get out of NYC, Mamdani laughed it off and fired back saying 50 clearly doesn't understand how taxing the top 1% would actually make life better for everyone else. The man basically said, "Bro, you're rich. You'll survive." But 50 wasn't done being dramatic. He reposted Mamdani's response on Instagram with the caption, "I think his intentions are good, but his tax plan's gonna run big money out of the city. And if he defunds the police, they gonna purge. All roads lead to Shreveport." Like 50 really trying to turn it into a horror movie now. Let's break that down, because what 50's doing here is classic fear-mongering. Rich people love to act like they'll flee the second taxes go up, but that's been the same tired bluff since the 1970s. The truth, they never leave, because no matter what they say, New York is where the power, prestige, and real money live. Let me break it down for you. Here's the perfect example of how fake this "we're leaving New York" talk really is. Bill Ackman, one of those billionaire hedge fund bosses, spent months attacking Zohran Mamdani during the campaign, and he didn't just disagree, he went low. Ackman started sharing racist posts, painting Mamdani as some wild, radical threat to the city, and telling everyone he'd pack up and move to Florida the minute Mamdani won. Straight scare tactics. But when the election results came in and Mamdani actually won, the man switched up instantly. The same Bill Ackman jumped on Twitter writing, "Zohran Mamdani, congrats on the win. Now you have a big responsibility. If I can help NYC, let me know what I can do." Like what? Where's that Florida energy now? What happened to "I'm outta here"? All of a sudden, he wants to help Mamdani run the city. That right there tells you everything you need to know. The truth is, these billionaires never planned on leaving. That "we'll move away" line is just a scare move they use whenever real change is coming. Every time power even slightly shifts toward the people, the rich start screaming like the sky's falling, pretending the city's doomed, the economy's collapsing, and they're the ones being attacked. It's a bluff. And it's been the same playbook for decades. Because deep down, they know the truth. New York is the heartbeat of their empire. Their offices, investors, deals, and influence all live right there in the city. You can't recreate that in Florida or Louisiana, no matter how low the taxes are. So instead of packing their bags, they just run their mouths, hoping to scare politicians into backing down. And when their scare tactics flop, they flip the script. Suddenly, they're all smiles, pretending they were team players from the start. That's the same game Bill Ackman and 50 Cent are playing right now. The moment you threaten even a tiny piece of their wealth, they start spreading fear, crying about the system, and pretending to care about the working class. But let's be real, they're not going anywhere, and they're still gonna stay rich enough to sleep on money-stuffed pillows. Now, about that other claim 50 made, saying Mamdani's gonna defund the police? Yeah, that's completely false. If 50 actually read the man's policies, he'd know Mamdani never said he wants to get rid of law enforcement. What he said was that the city needs to rebalance its budget, put more money into housing, mental health care, and real community programs instead of dumping millions into a department that still can't stop the violence before it happens. That's not a purge. That's straight up common sense. Cities that invest in their people instead of just punishment actually end up with less crime, not more. That's proven, not politics. But 50's whole post is designed to make people panic, to make it sound like the city's about to fall apart just because the rich might have to pay their fair share. Meanwhile, regular New Yorkers are out here stressing about rent, subway delays, and keeping their lights on, while 50's ranting about a small tax bump he could easily afford from his mansion down in Houston. And that right there is the disconnect DL Hughley was talking about. How does someone who built his whole brand on get rich or die trying suddenly act like the problem is poor people just trying to survive? It's wild. This isn't just about 50 Cent throwing a tantrum or one billionaire crying over taxes. It's a whole pattern. The rich keep trying to scare everyone into believing that progress is something to fear just so they can protect their own pockets. Mamdani's out here talking about real changes: rent control, housing, public transit, mental health, things that actually make life better for working people. But somehow, that's what's got these millionaires and celebs terrified. Meanwhile, the same folks screaming RIP New York aren't going anywhere. They're still signing deals, collecting checks, and living off the same city they're pretending is doomed. The irony is unreal. So what do you think about all this? Do you side with 50 Cent, thinking Mamdani's plan might actually ruin the city? Or do you think 50's just another celebrity who forgot his roots the moment he cashed in? Drop your thoughts down below. I want to see what y'all really think about this one. And don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, and share button to keep the conversation going. Comment your take, and I'll see you in the next video.